Any of you ever wonder back in the back of your mind, I mean, even guys who are huge 1911 fans, you ever wonder a little bit, why are 1911s still around? I mean, it's 100+ years old. Why are they still here? Ever cross your mind in any way? Well, I'll tell you why. It's really very, very simple. Because without a doubt, the 1911 is one badass mofo. Okay, guys, what is it about the 1911 that just makes it hang around and hang around? Okay. First thing, guys, this is not a cleaning video. I just got this out here working on it and thought I would bump some ideas off your minds here a little bit. Remember a couple of videos ago, it was on safe conditions of carry that I did. There's a guy, really cool dude. He's a sub of mine and has been for a long time. Kimber Guy 100 gave me an idea for that video. I gave him full credit. It was his idea to come up with that. Said, hey, can you talk a little bit about this? Thought it was a great video, so yeah. Well, he sent me some information, a couple pieces of information. One of them I'm going to use on this video, so I'm going to give him credit for this one too to some degree. And part of what he sent me was a write-up about the Tacoma, Washington Police Department and how they had already gone back to the 1911 as their primary duty carry. And from the, I believe it was the Heralded Glock, okay. So I got to think and said, why in the world they're going back to 1911s? Why? Why are they doing that? Well, we're going to explore that for a little bit. Now, let's get one thing straight right now, guys. This is not a gun comparison video, okay? If you're a huge Glock fanboy, don't look at this video thinking I'm going to be bashing Glocks, because I'm not, okay? Because I love Glocks too, okay? Or any other thing. That's not what this is about. We're talking about why the 1911 is still around. Now, we've all seen the videos about, you know, 1911s suck, you know, all guns should be Glocks, they should all be 19s. You can bury it in the ground for a year, pick it up, brush the dirt off of it, shoot it. You know, we can fire it for 1,000 rounds, get so hot that the guide rod melts and falls out, still shoots. We've seen all that, okay? And that's fine. That's fine for whatever you want to read into it. But that doesn't answer the question as to why has this still been around? Well, Kimber Guy 100's article that he sent me about the Tacoma, Washington Police Department got me thinking, so I started doing some research. And guys, there is a ton, literally, or a very significant number of law enforcement agencies around the country that are going back to the 1911 as their primary duty carry, or at least offering it as an option now, okay? And for years, I mean, even back when I was in the Marines and still in, I mean, when I got out, the primary issue was the M9 Beretta, but there were still certain elite units that carried the 1911, and there are now still. I mean, in fact, they just put through, what was it, a $22.5 million contract with Colt for 1911s, okay? And there is some people that are really in the know say that that's just the beginning. There's going to be even more than that after that. That they're very much looking at going back to this as an option for the primary duty carry or issue. Why is that? I mean, if you have all these modern guns out there like SIGs and Glocks and Springfield XDs and the M&Ps, you know, military police, you know, and all those, which don't get me wrong, because they're all great guns. I love every daggum one of them. Okay? Got all but an M&P. Okay? But if they're so modern, those are so much better, why are they going back to this? Well, Pete hit on it more than once if you've watched the Armor Channel videos over the years. And he mentioned it in a video or two just back. He said, 1911s guys are battle tested. They've been through the test of time. And it's very, very true. 100+ years and they're still on duty. He had a shirt, you know, Armor Channel shirts last year in honor of 100 years. Okay? They're still on duty. And the reason why is in World War I, World War II, Korea, Vietnam, even in the Gulf War, some units carried 1911s then. They proved themselves time in and time out. Now, I know we've all got these things that we've heard about. I think they're probably rumors. I don't know. But I've seen some articles written where people are saying, well, you know, it jammed up when I was in a foxhole, and it cost several of us our lives, and if it didn't do that, we, blah, 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 blah. You know, I don't know if that's true or not, and I'm not here to argue the merits of those articles or not. I'm not going to do that. But I am going to say this, there's a reason that the military used this for over 100 years. There's a reason the military still looks at an all-metal frame firearm for its duty carry. There's a reason why they are very seriously considering bringing these back. And there's a reason that the Marine Corps said, hey, we're going to give you $22.5 million, make us some fucking guns, Colt. There's a reason why LEOs around the country are saying, hey, let's offer this as an option back, at least. It's because they have proved themselves over time. And I know you can sit there and say, well, hey, this fires right out of the box. I never saw a Kimber that didn't jam. That's stupid. You got to break those in. It's a waste of time. Blah, 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 blah. I know all that. But when it comes down to brass tacks, what has proved itself that works and runs? This thing right here. But I'm not saying that they're perfect, but I'm saying they are battle tested. And there's another thing about it. Something else has been said. I think Pete actually said this. Not only are they 100 plus years old, guys, they're still mainstream. Now, what he meant by that is you can go into literally any gun store and still buy a 1911. There are gun stores within 25 miles of where I live right now. You can't walk into them and buy a Glock or a SIG. You have to order them. You can get them there, but you have to order it. They don't carry them in stock because they don't sell enough of them. But they sell these all day long. Why? Kind of an open question, okay? Now, there's going to be people that are on both sides of it, and that's fine. Now, my viewpoint of it, guys, is this right here pretty much in a nutshell. They are battle tested, they are accurate, they are reliable, and they do run. Guys, you can go and you can find 1911s from the year 1911, 1912, 1913, 14, 15, all the way up until 2012. And you pick those things up and they will run, and they will run like a raped ape. Can you do that with a Glock or a SIG? Yeah. Well, yeah, you can go back to 1980, 1981 when they first come out, Glock-wise, and yeah, you probably find some of those still run. Will they do that 70 years from now? I have no idea. And that's going to be left up to my grandkids. And depending on how old you are, your grandkids too. I don't know. We'll have to wait and find out. So we'll leave that observation up to them. But there's no doubt in my mind that the 1911s like these and the ones I mentioned will probably still be running. Okay? No doubt in my mind of that whatsoever, because they have stood the test of time. Okay? And until the 1911 is stopped production worldwide, I don't think anything's ever going to beat that record. Now, you know, like I said, I'm not bashing on any other gun company or any other type of gun. This is just why are 1911s still around. I'm just giving you my reason why. They're battle tested, they're mainstream, they run, and they're easy to work on. They feel great in the hand. It's almost an ultimate design. Now, there's a lot of people out there that will use the argument, well, you know, we need something more modern like, you know, the HKs or the XDs or the Glocks and stuff like this. We'll use Glock here as an example. I'm not, like I said, guys, I'm not blasting on Glock because I love Glocks too. But guys, let's be honest. Do you really think that Gaston Glock was sitting around and came up with all of that ideal in his head of how to design that pistol? Just popped into his head overnight? Well, I really don't think so. In fact, there's a lot of those that are in the know that say that the design of the Glock is based off the Browning Camlock design, okay, of the high power. Now, there was I think John Browning had sold the rights to, I believe Colt, as a matter of fact, for the 1911s and how to build them. So he could not use that when he was designing the Browning high power. Now there's those that say the Browning high power is a superior weapon to the 1911. Well, or at least in its design phase. And that's a possibility. I don't really know anything about a high power. I've seen them, I've shot them, but I've never really got into them. There's those of you out there that own them that will know more about that than I do. But I know this. He had to go around the design of the 1911 in order to design the internals of the Browning high power, which I believe was designed for the French government. But had it not been for the 1911, the high power as it sits today might not actually even exist. okay? Or it would be closer to the 1911. Okay, so had it not been for the high power, okay, Glocks, as they are today, might not even exist. Okay, so if it hadn't been for the high power, they may not exist. And if it hadn't been for the 1911, the high power hadn't exist. So really, if it hadn't been for the 1911, modern firearms today in their present form, semi-automatics, might not even exist. At least not the way they do now. Now that's just my theory, guys. It's just my opinion. And it's, you know, that's all it is. I'm not saying that's a fact. I'm just saying that's my opinion. Now, those of you who are old enough will remember back college football. You know, before they had 100,000 gazillion bowl games, you had, you know, just a few bowl games. And the very, very first bowl game, and I was not around to see that, but the very first bowl game was the Rose Bowl, because it was in the Rose Bowl. It was called the Rose Bowl. Now, all the time when I was growing up, when I was a kid through the 60s and 70s, even into the early 80s, and you hear it occasionally from time to time now, but not near as much as you did back then, the Rose Bowl was referred to as the granddaddy of them all, because really it was the first, the one that really got the ball rolling on all of them. So the 1911 is still around, much like the Rose Bowl, because it's the granddaddy of them all. What do you guys think? That's all I got, guys. Later.